I'm Chelsea Zaccato.
And I'm Natalie Heacock.
And this is Lumber Slingers.
Each podcast, we will be bringing you relevant and useful industry information, including interviews with top lumber professionals and discussion of current events in the industry.
Whether it be lumber grading, industry and market trends, or who's who in lumber, we hope to extend your current tally on industry knowledge.
Good morning, Trent.
Morning, Chelsea.
How are you today?
Lovely. Just, if you see me randomly like jerk to the side, it's because we're having like an insane windstorm here right now, which is pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. I've heard like you guys have had tornadoes and...
Yeah. This week has been so the week started off, it was 72 degrees on Monday. Awesome. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. That was aggressive. Just beautiful day. Within the next 24 hours, we had a tornado. Then 24 hours after that, there was snow. And now we're having windstorms of 45 mile per hour winds rather. And it's like 40 degrees out before the wind chills. So it's like they had a ground stoppage at O'Hare. It's been fun.
Rough. No kidding. Yeah, I've been seeing all the tornadoes and I was like, isn't this early for all this weather to be happening?
Well, and it hit downtown even like pretty bad. They were getting hail. So I was at the LMC show downtown in Chicago, and people were just like, that was a crazy night, because they could see the storms coming through, and the tornadoes were hitting just a little bit south of where they were at too. I mean, not downtown proper, but I think they said at least six tornadoes touched down in Illinois, if I remember. I saw a couple of videos of people that were doing real life Twister stuff. Crazy, but following them, they weren't trying to throw the metal balls in it or anything like that. That's a plot line apparently, but they were still way too close to the tornadoes. But you could see it go in form on this video. It was with a 2-minute video. I was like, that's insane. So, and a couple people actually passed away from the storm. So, it was nothing to play around with. They were scary and devastating. So
that's scary. We've had nothing like tornadoes, but we've had an atmospheric river come through yesterday, today, tomorrow. It's called an atmospheric river. It's where it just rains a lot and starts flooding. So
isn't that called Portland weather?
They call it an atmospheric river. It's it actually, if you look at the weather pattern that comes over, it looks like an actual river and it just dumps.
Are you guys known for your rain though there as well? Is that super abnormal?
Yeah.
Or is this
well, it's really aggressive because it's I think we got 4 inches in 2 days or 3 days or something, which that's quite a bit. There's quite a bit of water, all the rivers start filling up and then you have flash flooding and all that. So, and the roads are just nasty. I've been driving up and down I-5 all week and it is not a fun drive. It's really stressful when you have to, the white knuckle.
Oh yeah. No, I drove downtown to the LMC show and it was the day after the tornadoes and there's still a little bit of flooding on 290. It was crazy. Usually to get home that night, it took me 42 minutes. To get down there, it was an hour and 36 minutes. So
what's your normal commute to get down?
It depends. For a morning, it's still going to be pretty crazy, 110, 115, I'd say, so, but it was an extra 20 minutes and there was a crash and there was a little bit of that. And I also had to go a little farther south, but the south part, once I got off of 290 wasn't bad. But, there's just too many people driving.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's whole different podcast, I think.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you about the LMC show. How was it?
It was awesome, honestly. This is my first time going to the show. And it really blew me away because it was really...
Literally.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. Just to see because they had different cross section of people than I usually see at the shows that I personally go to. Mine are very, very lumber, specific. You'll see some other people there, don't get me wrong, but this was broken down into many more segments. There was a lumber section. We also had, hardware. I had, a millworky type section. And then technology section. And so it was cool because I was able to see some companies that fit into some different buckets, so to speak, that I'd never seen at shows before, and to see some of their exhibits. Some of the exhibits were a little bit larger than ones that I've seen at like a NOLA, say for example. They had some really large ones, especially in like the door area. There were some really cool things.
Yeah.
Like I took some pamphlets just because I was like, personally, I was like, I want to get a door that looks like this. This is really cool. I don't know where I'd put it, but it looked really cool. Like I want to figure out a way to use this door because it was amazing. And so, yeah, it was cool to see companies that, I speak with or that I know and that I just never see at the shows that I go to. So, and it was a good sized show. It didn't seem overwhelmingly large. It seemed, like I was only there for one day on Wednesday. I was able to walk the entire floor. I was able to see, basically most all the people I want to speak with. Obviously, it's like impossible to talk to everyone long term, but it was from 9 until 5. And surprisingly, like, I mean, it was still pretty decently busy the last couple hours. I was surprised about that because it's a long day, 9 to
Yeah.
5. But I think it's similar kind of the shows where the next day was a little bit more, low key and laid back. 'Cause, people are going to be leaving and things of that nature, which hopefully they did because if they tried leaving today, good luck. Um,
Yeah.
but no, it was really neat to see that cross section. Also, just to kind of learn more about LMC as a whole, like how they operate, and they had like little sections in different areas where they had people that worked in each department. And they were doing like active like trading. So there was like like a table where someone was like who dealt with plywood, and they did the trading. They were working on the computer doing this, so you could go and ask them questions or and things like that. So it was a cool little neat things that I haven't seen at other shows before. It was just fun to see. And the tech companies were different. Some of them are ones that I know very well that I've never seen at shows because they're not they're more maybe working on the retail side. Like Flitch, David Maelstrom there, like him and I talk all the time. And I was able to actually meet him in person because, we don't usually cross paths at
Yeah.
shows like that. So it was really cool to be able to see him there. Shout out to him. Yeah, I was really really impressed at just the show in general. Being local, I got to get some more tchotchke than normal, which was kind of nice. So, I was able to bring that home
Load
and
up the
whatnot.
car for Quinn.
Oh yeah, like I got the coolest thing I got there is I should have brought it with is I think it was Max X is what I believe it was or MAX. I think it's MAX. They were a door company. They had a pen, and on the end of the pen is a fidget spinner. Like it's the most
Oh, that's
amazing thing.
cool.
Oh, it was so, like I kept taking more because like I have 5 bags. Take more. I was like I could take another. Like
You're
I
like, I
love it.
can't
Like I
have
could
any
just sit
more than
there.
I have.
Oh my gosh! And they had a lot of other random cool things I'd never seen. Like a little fidgety. It's like a key from a keyboard. You press it, and there's a light underneath, but it just clicks too. That was from
Well, that's cool.
a decking company. I'm blanking out. I need to know the names. I should have brought it with. But I mean, there's a lot of cool things I've never seen on that end as well. The
Yeah.
lunch was really good. They had salmon. I've never had salmon at a luncheon before,
Ooh,
which was nice. So that was pretty cool. No, it was.
salmon on
I
the show
was.
floor.
I felt very lucky to be able to go there, honestly, because it was cool just to be able to go to a different show like that, and then kind of expose myself to some other companies and meet other people, get more of an idea of how all of like these groups like the LMC really like how they really work and meet some of the people that work there. And so it was really cool. Like I hope that I can go again because it was very like I didn't know what to expect. Now going back next time, if I'm able to go again, then I would be able to approach it in a different way and kind of try to get different aspects out of the show because I was kind of focusing more on the lumber and kind of a little bit of the millwork side, but I didn't know who was going to all be there. So I was kind of following, with Chuck. Him and I were following each other kind of around. We broke off a few times, talked to some people, but my colleague
Shout out
Chuck
to Chuck.
Casey.
He's the guy. He's the
Oh yeah, he's
smiley guy that you always see from 526, just
yep.
taking your picture. So
Oh, and
we
it was
love Chuck.
awesome to see him like working there, like in his element, because everyone knows him and everyone loves him. So it was really fun to watch that too, And I mean,
Yeah,
'cause
that's
a lot of
awesome.
people outside of the people that I know, like in some of these other areas, because they've worked with us before on the Building Products Digest side, the Merchant Magazine side, or even the decking specialist, or sometimes even Surface and Panel there. So
Yeah.
he was
So
going
all
around.
of those magazines are represented at this one show, which is really cool. It's huge. I've been to LMC
Oh,
once. I
really? Okay,
went they did I had a booth in Nashville just
okay.
to test it out and see if it was a good fit for our company, and it was the year that COVID shut the world down. It was March 5th, I'll never forget, and I
No.
drove through Nashville. They had a tornado. People were like sheltering in place like right before the show started, and then they basically shut the world down almost right after I left Nashville that year. But the LMC show, and people had started like tapping elbows or feet or like
Oh,
pumping, like people were
uh-huh.
starting to get uncomfortable with
Touching.
like touching. I'll never forget that. That was a good time. But so what else is going on? We should get into some of these lumber stories. I mean, I know right now, one thing that's top of mind is freight rates. I've been hearing a lot about freight rates over the last week, something I guess I wanted to kind of touch on because pretty relevant to those of us in the lumber industry when it comes to buying lumber, selling lumber. I guess the news is that freight rates are going up and there's less trucks than normal. I just read that the capacity is tightening and national flatbed load to truck ratio jumped to 56.92 in late February, up from 37.3 in January. So more loads chasing fewer trucks is basically what that means. And the flatbed load posts are up nearly 47% year over year. That's the American Journal of Transportation. And as far as rates go, as of March, national flatbed spot rate is about $2.95 a mile. That's up 8.5% versus last month. Contract pricing is running about 0.37, 37 cents higher than spot rates. And that is the quote on that is from Dynamic Logistics. They're at their highest level since October 2022, rising 15 out of the last 16 weeks.
I mean, that's a big deal. Like,
That's a big deal.
pennies matter there, like, a lot.
Yeah, this gets tough when, in lumber, sometimes the difference of making money and not making money, actually, not sometimes, every time, it's the freight. You can lose your ass, excuse my language, on an order because of freight. And so that's rough. It's rough on the lumber industry. There are certain commodities that pay a higher rate and have more margin to give on shipping. So it affects all of us. It'll affect definitely purchasing if you're buying a delivered price. And if you're dealing with an FOB mill, good luck. Hopefully you find a good rate. But so that's good to know. And spring construction's going to kick in. And so, I think that anxiety can also be paired with everybody wondering what's going to happen. Is there going to be good spring buying? So hopefully it doesn't send people into a panic to just, load up their inventory even more if there's not orders to back it up. So that'll be interesting to see over the next couple weeks. I know last week we were asking with the war and what happened, what is that going to do to lumber pricing? We didn't really even talk about what that's going to do to freight prices, obviously, because oil is up as well.
No, I mean,
Really fun.
at the show, there was at least a level of cautious optimism, which I think is kind of what we even spoke about last week. So,
Well,
but yeah,
Natalie kicked that word out the door. She just
yeah,
said, we're just being optimistic now.
yep. But I mean, that's what people were literally saying there. I mean, but I mean, I would say there wasn't negativity at all. Like, I didn't hear any negativity. Now,
That's
like, a
good.
lot of times you go to the shows, you rarely do, to be fair. I mean, unless there's something really crazy going on. But no, I mean, I think that it's it's one thing to be optimistic, but the proof is in the pudding, right? So,
Yeah,
I
the proof is
mean,
in the pudding.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I think March will kind of start to give us more insight once it's over and we kind of can see, where are things at, because there's always big jumps and things come back. I mean, it's been crazy. I mean, even just looking at, to get ahead, mortgage rates, I mean, they went below 6 2 weeks ago, right? And now they're at 6.1 again. So, spoiler. So, I mean, so you're
Spoiler alert.
seeing, like, big changes there. So, I mean, that's a big deal because we finally, got the, celebratory break under 6. Now they're like, nah, we're going back up, bud. Oh, I mean, I think it's trying to be presented as a way. It's like, they're going up a little bit, but it's like, I mean, what's going to happen? Are they going to keep going up? Are they going to keep going down? It's just all of that. It,
Mm-hmm.
that makes people, I think, less optimistic that that is going to come to a conclusion, sooner than later. Unless something,
Yeah.
changes. So, I mean, I think this month is going to really be important in shaping what's going to happen, or at least how people perceive what's going to happen going forward, for spring, because usually, at least in the
Yeah.
Midwest, by the end of March, we hopefully start seeing nicer weather, more than one just day. So,
That's
you start
another thing, just a
again.
hammering on people is the weather. I mean, the
Mhm.
East Coast has just been ravaged with snow. I guess it was like nice last week, but yeah, there's a lot of that going on too. And we're rounding out Q1 here at the end of March. So Let's go.
Yep. It's an interesting quarter, so but like I said, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that I'm just kind of letting everything ride now and just seeing how looking at the kind of micro changes each week and hoping they're micro changes and then, like seeing where the dust settles at the end of the month, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, since we don't have very much time left, what would you say is the top story that we should just outside of freight and the
Well,
LMC show we would touch on?
honestly, one of the most read ones is going to be close to home for you, which is Patrick Lumber produces longer length alder at their new hardwood mill. So that was one that came
Awesome.
out this week. So boom.
So a lot of people are clicking on that one.
Yep, they are actually. Yes, yes.
That's awesome. Well, it's cool because today we're actually having our open house. We have a St. Patrick's Day celebration. We just invite a handful of our, suppliers, customers. We're going to give mill tours. So it's kind of cool to see that come out this week when we'll have people on site. But yeah, the alder mill, it's been fun to watch. We are cutting some very beautiful logs, and the perception in the industry is, hardwoods is a lot different than softwoods. Obviously, our company has been known for West Coast softwoods, so we're a new kid on the block here, and it's interesting to hear from our customers the perspective that the trees don't grow tall enough to produce longer length alder when in fact the trees are long enough. Now you are dealing with a different animal with hardwoods, you deal with like crook and all that, and so it's really cool to watch the experts do what they do and make this product beautiful and make it workable for all the applications that are out there. So we have taken special attention to that and making a really solid longer length alder product that it's really cool. I'm excited to see what happens with it, and thank you to those who have already started bringing it into their inventories. I think their customers are going to be really excited to know that they can get these longer links.
Yeah, and then the pictures of it were really cool, and that were included in the press release too. So you're able to sneak a couple in there. So yeah, that's awesome. That's
We
awesome.
love a
I
good
think
picture.
I do, especially of product like that, kind of finished product. So it was very very nice. And there's a quote from this awesome lady in there too. I think her name was Chelsea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You should read it. It's a good one.
Yeah, yes. Yes, that's very, very knowledgeable.
That's what I've heard. That's the rumor. The rumor is that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, like that was literally one of the biggest points of news. A lot of the rest of it was really just kind of there's been some appointments in the industry, no major merger and acquisition news or anything else. Which is kind of it's kind of nice to have maybe a little quiet week. So like Golf Eagle, they announced a new leader for their vendor relations, a new vice president of vendor relations, which is Andy Beckerman. So congratulations to him. He'll be very customer
Congrats.
forward facing. One other interesting thing though that is at Rayonier, they announced that their executive VP of Wood Products, Ashley Townsend Cribb, has announced that she's going to step down as of the 20th of March to accept a CEO opportunity with a privately owned specialty wood products manufacturer that Rayonier does not consider to be a competitor. Well, they did. She hasn't. I've been trying to dig and see if I can find out what the other
Oh
one is
my gosh,
officially,
who
but
is it? Where is she
I know,
going?
I wanna know. So as of right now, I'm able to find it out yet, so reaching out to see if
Should
I
we
can
set
get
up a
any
Google
insight.
alert for her name?
Exactly. So, I mean, worst case, we'll find out on the 20th, but I'm trying to see if I can find out in a little bit before that, but, that was interesting news is because now it's a big question mark. I'm like, "I wanna know."
That is interesting also that they called that out, that Rainier does not consider them to be a competitor, that they put
Yep.
that in the press release even is,
Yep.
like, interesting to
Yep.
word it that way.
Exactly. So, that's
Wow.
a little fun little tidbit. Kind of already spoke about obviously where mortgage rates are at. Applications, they were up last week 3.2% from the week earlier. Nothing too major. We saw a lot odder swings, previously in weeks. So not a nothing too crazy. And even with the pricing, nothing too major. It was at as of March 6th, it was at 491, which is down $4 or 1%. It's down $5 or 1% from a month ago. So nothing too huge by a long shot. No major swing. I say, obviously you'd rather have it going up, but nonetheless, I mean, not a giant swing either way. So kind of a little bit of
Yeah.
stability there.
Okay, awesome. Well, Trent, thanks for the updates, and
Yes, yeah.
I hope you have a happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you wear green. I hope the
Oh,
Chicago River turns green
oh, it will.
and all that good stuff.
Oh, and it's Anne's birthday tomorrow on
Oh,
Saturday,
happy
so
birthday,
she's
Anne.
turning 23, so that's pretty good.
Oh, wow,
Maybe
that's a good
very
birthday.
very impressive. Yep, it's a big one.
I can't wait till I'm 23. All right, Trent. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.